Okay, so we'll start the TIFF Lounge from here, and before we were calling it Asian Lounge, but from this year this is just Lounge, and we have this director from China today. Okay, so from now, let's welcome Director Yimou Zhang, Yimou. We're going to start the masterclass here. Please give him a big hand. Zhang Yimou. The MC will be the International Film Festival. The Chinese translator will be Shu Samuel, and the English translator will be Mihoko Imai. Okay, so let's have some greetings from the director first. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming here today. I'm calling this as a communication, and I hope this communication will benefit you in some way, in any kind of way. So this is a masterclass. It sounds like a class at school, but I would like to just first speak about a lot of things, and I'd would like questions. Okay, so we have limitation of time, so let's start now according to the theme. So this year, you won the Lifetime Achievement Award at this Tokyo International Film Festival. Congratulations. So actually, at this International Film Festival, we have a close connection, relationship with you. And I remember that you've been with us from the first Tokyo International Film Festival. And I know you have a lot of connection with Japanese at film production companies. So I'd like you to talk about the memory of those projections. And so together with you since the first Tokyo International Film Festival. Yes, it's 36 years ago, and back then, I had this, my debut film. The title of it is I was filming The Red Shogun, and I was cameraman before that. And when I heard about this Tokyo International Film Festival, the timing was back then when I was making my debut film, and another director was actually making this film, Old Well, and I was an actor in that film. And I wasn't in Tokyo back then, but I heard about this Tokyo International Film Festival at this set, at this shooting site. And what was impressive is that so that night there was a night shoot, evening shoot, and the site was in China, and the place is called Ningxia, the Gobi Desert in China, and we were shooting there. And of course, back then we didn't have mobile phones. What was impressive is the line producer ran through the desert to me and said, "You won the award, congratulations," was what he said. And I asked him, "What is it about?" And then he said, "So you got this Best Actor award at Tokyo International Film Festival." And I was so surprised to hear that. And the actors who heard about this at the site, they said, "So you were the director and you took the Best Actor award, so we don't want to act anymore," was what they said. So in that sense, so I have these lots of memory with Tokyo International Film Festival. So I had my first Best Actor award at this film festival. Probably I think that was my last Best Actor award as well. Yeah, I remember that. I was just a college student back then. And there was the director Koteme at this Tokyo International Film Festival, but you were not here, and I remember that. Yeah, that's true. So the Best Actor award, probably that was the first, and I don't know if it will be the last, but that was the first one for you anyway. I'm sure that was my last one too. And before that, the film Yellow Earth, and you were the director of photography back then, and there was no Tokyo International Film Festival then. Yes, the Yellow Earth, that's 1984-1985 film. Yeah, and I just graduated the college in Beijing before, and this Yellow Earth was the debut film by Chen Kai-ko, and in that film I was a cameraman. So you did a lot of things by now, and you're a cameraman, and you was an actor, and you became an actor. So within the Chinese burg, and I heard that your character actually changed during this path that you tread through. Yeah, before I became a director, I was the quiet guy, and I didn't know to converse with people that much. But after I became a director, I don't know why, but probably this is a disease or sickness, or I don't know what it is. But in order to be a director in China, you have to have relationship. You have to talk with many staff and many people, and I have to say something that I don't need to say even. So, and I have to express myself as well. And about the direction, as a director, of course, you have to give directions to the actors. So I've been a director for several decades, and I know I'm talking too much sometimes. I'm like repeating things too much, but nonetheless, I need to do that, and I'm talking again and again and repeating things very much.
For example, when I was working with Ken Takakura, this is a little anecdote, and this left an impression on me. When with Takakura, working with Mr. Takakura, he was a very, very quiet person. He doesn't really talk that much. And after the shoot, at night, after returning from the set, I would often kind of hate myself because Ken Takakura would not talk at all, and I was chit-chatting all over the place. And Ken was not one for small talk, so I really hated myself for that. So now that we're talking about Ken Takakura, of course, you have been working with a lot of filmmakers and film figures in the Japanese film industry, and of course, as we all know, you worked with Ken Takakura on running for 1,000 miles. If there are any interesting anecdotes that you can, riding alone for thousands of miles was the title of the film, but if there are any memories that you have with Ken Takakura, can you share that with us? The film that we did together was the only film that I was constantly standing while shooting. So working with Ken, he was like this on set. He did not sit at all as well. I think he was he was past the age of 70 at this time that we were shooting. And usually an actor or actress will sit down and take a rest when the camera isn't rolling, but Mr. Takakura did no such thing. He wouldn't go into his car. He wouldn't go into the resting room. He just stayed away from the camera, standing all the time and looking at the other scenes that were in progression. I was very surprised because he was over the age of 70, and I was very worried, concerned about him being fatigued. And I asked his interpreter, why does he not sit? And the interpreter said, well, that is the kind of person that he is. He is completely very, very serious about his work and about the film that he is participating in. He has a huge amount of respect for all the people that are working on the set for a given film. Being told this, well, when we work on set, we place chairs everywhere on the set. And people think, or directors usually sit in their director's chair. But when we were working on this film in particular, I ordered all of the people on the crew to remove all the chairs from the set, and we had tall tables around the set, which was conducive to everybody standing while the cameras were rolling or while we were shooting. And the sound recorder or the sound mixer on set came to me, and he said this equipment is placed so low, and it's very taxing on my lower back, and I don't think I can work like this. For me, I would appreciate that. He said, I agreed, but I told him to do the sound recording where I wouldn't be able to see him. So it is indeed very interesting, the style in which Ken Takakura works. A lot of people in Japan know about this, and probably in China as well. So going on to the next subject, we would like to talk to you or talk with you about your approach to filmmaking. After you had the screening of Full River Red yesterday, you were talking about this as well. But you talked about having a lot of conversation with everybody on the script and a lot of conversation as the actors prepare for their roles. You take this two-tier approach, you said. Can we dig a little deeper into this? Why is this two-tier process so important to you? As a director, I think it's nearly impossible to perfect a screenplay beforehand. Nevertheless, I keep on striving to do that. I'm always working, thinking perhaps we'll arrive at a perfect screenplay tomorrow, or going forward during the following 6 months, perhaps we can write and rewrite. If we had a little more time, we would be so much more happier. I often daydream like this, and I always have aspirations to perfect a screenplay like this. However, reality never unfolds in this way. I've made a lot of films, but never has that happened. No matter what the screenplay is, or no matter how it was written, I think the results are the same. What I mean is this. Once you write the screenplay, it is a process of rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and expanding it. It's a very long process. If you're able to work quickly, you can complete a screenplay in 1 year or 2 years. But if it takes a long time, sometimes it will take 5 years, 10 years. This is something that is not rare. And as a filmmaker, I think this is something that we just have to face, deal with as a reality. But sometimes I think maybe I'm not such a good screenplay writer. Perhaps other filmmakers go about it in a more efficient way. But as I ask around, I have come to realize that other filmmakers have the same problem, and it's not that I am one of the slower screenplay writers right now. I work at a pace of 1 film a year, which is what a lot of the filmmakers do not do. So perhaps I'm not that bad. And I think so. Therefore, screenplay writing is a challenge for many other filmmakers.
Probably this is my habit, but I need to discuss with all the staff and other people who are involved in the film. And I talked about this at Q&A yesterday too. And so at first stage, I talk with the script writers, screenplay writers, and then I go to the second stage. That is the important stage, where based on the screenplay, I talk with the actors who will get involved in my film, and I discuss with them a lot. And this is the more important stage for me. Why? Because I had this experience before. So after we started shooting, we were talking about the screenplay with the actors at the set, and then actors gave me inspirations, a lot of inspiration. And because of that inspiration, I stopped the shooting for about a week, and I just rewrote the script in that 1 week, and of course that was a very important stage for me. And the film is one form of industry. And for the industry, of course, there's one mechanism or one system. And I think the film production is kind of a chain, one line of chain. And the most important part of the chain is, I think, actors. And that's because the actors that are acting, the characters in the story. And if there's no character, if there's no people in the film, of course, the film couldn't be completed. So their opinion is very useful for a director. So when I go to the set, I'm very serious, and I listen to seriously about the opinions from the actors or the suggestions from the actors. And within those suggestions, if there's something that is very good, of course, I would get that idea and use that for the film. And this is my habit. Yes, your film is kind of ensemble of the actors, and all these people are exchanging dialogues, and I'm so surprised about that. And at the same time, there's a meticulous structure of the camera and the frame, and also the color is very impressive, symbolic as well, and also the rhythm of the editing is great. And about the Manjanhan, Full River Red, the stage set, the design of the set is beautiful too. And so you discuss about all this with all this staff.
大家都熟悉了，都默契了，在这些方面从一开始就讨论好，我们在现场的讨论就会非常深，而且就按照我们谈好的标准去做，画面、色彩、服装、化妆、各种技术全部做好。所以在现场，主要是我跟他们讲的，我说你们在现场不要占我的时间。现场工作时间是有限的，你们把时间留给我和演员，我们体现到我们都是所以现在都是以这样的方式来工作。
So when you continue filming films, you have this team, kind of set team. And this cameraman, Mr. Cho, he's been he's been cameraman from me for 16 years. So of course there are things that we don't need to actually tell each other. He knows about everything about me already. And so I talk with the crew before the beginning of the film shoot. And I try to discuss everything before the film shoot, and so that everything knows about everything before the beginning of the film shoot. And I don't talk much at the set. And I ask them, when I go to the set, I ask them not to take my time, because I want to use my time for the actors, with the actors. So I tell the crew not to discuss with me at the set. So rather we discuss about the costume or the framework or the design or the artwork. I talk with the crew before the beginning of the film set. That is how I make films. So I think these works are actually homework for the director, because they have to lead this creative team, creative crew. So before the beginning of the film shoot, I need to be prepared for everything. And that is how I make film. And for example, I'd like to tell you one example. The next film that I'm going to shoot, that is stylish and artistic and colorful, for example. Then I talk with the people who would be the director of would be the art director, and I tell them the main color for my film would be red. Then we'll talk about the tone of the film. So what kind of red that will be, what kind of beautiful red that will be, how it will be stylish, how it will be artistic, the tone of the screen, the color. I set that first, and then based on that tone, I choose the location or the costumes or the makeups of the actors. And I prepare everything before the film shoot. That's how I do it.
To give you another example, the film that I am presently working on is a film that stems in realism. It is very verite, so I take a very different approach from my previous films. And in such films, it's not so much about the production design. So what is going to be important then? Camera equipment is technologically advanced now, so we would want to work with a 4K or 8K camera that is easily maneuverable. So in my discussions with my cameraman, for example, we talk about using 6 cameras or 8 cameras, and we have to have that many cameramen as well. And the cameramen have to be people who are technologically equipped to be able to maneuver such machinery. And we want to keep the lighting to a minimum so that we can use natural lighting. We want to keep the lighting down to the degree that the actors actually don't notice the lighting, and that way you can capture the verisimilitude of the real life that the actors are portraying in the film. So talking about what the shooting was like in this most recent film, we used a very small camera, 6 to 8 very small cameras, and this was because we have a top roster of actors and actresses in the film. This film has many characters. It's an ensemble film, and you want to capture every single second that they are doing their acting. And when it comes to the conversation, the dialogue, there is a lot of improvisation that comes out. Certain things details that didn't even come out in the rehearsal process, and you want to capture everything, including the expression, the facial expressions of the actors and actresses. So when you go to the set, you would want 1 or 2 small cameras on a single actor and to be able to trace that actor's every moment. Since it is an ensemble cast, we have 8 cameras or 10 cameras being operated at the same time. It can be a very confusing shoot, but when you shoot it in this way, you would think that there were, for example, equipment or mics or whatnot that would actually accidentally be shown in the frame, but we have CG technology, so we're able to erase that. And what is so wonderful about this approach to filmmaking is that you can really go in one take and capture the live action of the actors and actresses. And so the shoot itself wasn't that time-consuming, actually. we were able to wrap quite quickly. So what I was doing on Full River Red, this is all about Full River Red, but what I was doing was just sitting in front of the monitor every day, and it was like, it felt like I was a security operator at a company or something like that. Watching security cameras. The actors sometimes would come to my tent, and they were all surprised to see so many, the amount of feeds that were fed to the monitor because they each had a separate camera on them. So I am able to see everything on the monitor, and the actors come and ask me, they say, "Are you really looking at all 10 monitors?" And I say to them, "Yes, of course." And not to be too boastful, but when it comes to Chinese directors, I think that I am the one who looks at the most amount of monitors. Mr. Zhang Yimou's work is presented in various scales. He does small film, he does grand films, but that was a very interesting piece of information to know about. So we are running out of time. You were talking about Full River Red and how that was an ensemble film. Your son is also making his appearance in the film as well, correct? Yes. My son is studying to become a filmmaker himself, and he is enrolled in USC in the United States. So he came to my set as a quote-unquote study session so that he could learn. But he did play a part in the film. I have 4 children. My eldest daughter is already a filmmaker in her own right, and she has made a few films. Her latest film is going to be released in China next month. And my eldest son is who we were just talking about, but he is working on his feature film debut. And he just graduated from university, and he loves animation, anime. He wants to be an anime or animation director. My wife told me this: "Are you going to have all of our 4 children enter the film industry? We're going to have a family of filmmakers. It's going to be a very confusing and chaotic family." So you are on your way to making a dynasty of filmmakers yourself. And my wife will say this: "Which film set should I go and see if all of our children are going to be filmmakers? It's going to be so confusing." So your son really likes animation. What does he think about your work?
他的毕业作品和他前边的实习的作品拍的都是就是真人的小短片，他是突然毕业以后就突然就喜欢动漫，然后我还劝他，我说你不拍真人吗？你拍真人电影我还能帮点忙啊。不拍，要拍动漫，我完全不太懂。そうですね。小さい時にずっと妻と一緒に映画
Yeah, when the kids were small, they came to watch the film location, the film set. They came with their mother to my site. So he, and when he graduated from university, he made all these 20 or 30-minute short film that was live action films. But after the graduation, all of a sudden he said, "I will be the animated film director," and I told him, probably you should make live action films so that I can help you. But he said, no, I want to do animated film, and I don't know anything about animated film. And for example, he knows everything about Japanese animated film, Japanese animation, and he knows everything, but I know only Hayao Miyazaki's film. Yeah. Back then, of course, there weren't many Japanese anime in China, I suppose. I assume. Yeah, before, yes. There weren't many, but recently there are many Japanese anime you can see in China, especially in these 10 years or so. And many films are released at the same time as Japan, and you can check it on internet too. For example, Makoto Shinkai's films, that is very popular in China. So Yimou's family, I guess the directors from his family would appear more and more in near future. So we have this question on the internet as well, and we'd like to go to the QA corner soon. And there are some questions that are similar, and so the director has been making films for long years, and what is the motivation for that? What is the origin for that? What is the power that is under your production?
I think it is really my passion and love for cinema that keeps me going. Because I love cinema so much, it doesn't tire me. The challenges don't tire me as much. 40 years ago, I joined the filmmaking industry, but back then, I wanted to change my fate, my destiny, and I wanted to enter any university. I just wanted to change the course of my life. But once I joined the film industry, as I joined a few productions, my passion for filmmaking became greater and greater. So it was just a chance decision, but as I started to work, that was the foundation of my passion. But when it comes to being a filmmaking, you really have to be physically fit to do the job. You can't gain weight. And you have to be physically fit to do your job. So no smoking, no drinking is a policy of mine. It's very important to keep healthy because that is what you are going to be using, your physical health. That's what you're going to be utilizing in your filmmaking. Another important thing is this. When making a film, you're going to have many investors who are willing to cooperate with your filmmaking. Of course, you have to be an artist in order to make a film, and I indeed consider myself as an artist as well. But your art needs to survive, will only survive with the investment of others. So you have to be very serious about your work, of course. Many people talk about this. For example, when a filmmaker goes about making his film, he takes his house as collateral so that he can finance his own film. But it's best really to get somebody who really likes your filmmaking and who wants to invest in you, which means you have a certain responsibility towards such investors. If every film that you make is not able to recoup, you will lose the trust of your investors. So you don't want to have the people who invest in your film lose out or lose. You don't want to do that. You have a certain financial responsibility like that. You have to be very aware if a film does financially well as being an artist. And the other important thing, of course, as mentioned before, is the script. Thank you very much. So physical health, financial sensibility is important as well, as we understand from what our director said right now. And also the screenplay is another important pillar in filmmaking. Okay, we would like to